On Sri Lanka, President Anura Kumara Dissanayake's coalition has secured a landslide victory in snap parliamentary elections. Official results show Mr. Dissanayake's left-leaning National People's Power coalition winning a two-thirds majority in parliament with 159 seats. The Samagi Jana Bala Wagaya party, led by opposition leader that's Sajith Premadasa, won 40 seats, while former President Ranil Wickremesinghe his new Democratic Front trailed with just 5 seats. Mr. Dissanayake was elected president in September but needed a clear majority to carry out his promise to combat corruption and bring the cost of living crisis under control. All this as the island nation tries to pull itself out of an economic meltdown. If more, Maneshka Borham joins us live from Colombo. Maneshka, just yesterday we were talking about Mr. Dissanayake's need to, cultivate the minority Tamil vote. Well, with this big win now, clearly some things he has done right and some things the opposition or those the political elite, now they have done wrong. If you look at what he's done right and what those have done wrong, how would you outline those?
Well, I think the economic crisis is what led to the downfall of the other political parties, all of whom have ruled Sri Lanka at some point. People have been feeling very disillusioned and felt each of these parties were to be blamed for the crisis due to years of economic mismanagement, waste and corruption. People who are still struggling were also taking issue that these rulers were leading luxurious lives with various benefits while they were struggling. And also the failure to take action against various scams and crimes for years, including the Easter Sunday attack, also didn't sit well with the public. As for the northern southern political parties, they have been very fractured recently, and there have been many internal party conflicts. We have noticed that the supporters of these parties either chose not to go to the polls or either turned to the NPP, which worked in favor of Dissanayake. And also in midst of all this, Dissanayake and his party for years have been speaking about corruption and the need to eradicate it. They have highlighted various frauds at various times, about government waste and even environmental disasters being committed. And they have promised justice to the people for all of this, which really resonated with the people. And also this is a party that has never been given the opportunity to rule the country. So we heard people talking about giving them a chance. As everyone has already tried their hands at it and failed. So it is likely that these factors attracted the people to the MPP and Dissanayake.
Ms. Borham, a big win at the ballot box. Now, that's a very good start for Mr. Dissanayake, but that does not translate automatically into efficacy in governance. What else is he likely to face in his big push to fight corruption and to combat poverty?
Well, right now, internally, I don't think he will have any obstacles. However, the main obstacle would be renegotiating with the IMF and looking into the agreement that has already been struck by the previous government. Because Sri Lanka is currently operating within the IMF's stringent fiscal parameters, which requires the government revenue to reach 15% of the GDP by 2025. And the IMF has also stipulated that the country's primary account balance must achieve a positive 2.3 by 2025. And as for Dissanayake, he has been a critic of the previous government's decision to go to the IMF. However, he has recently decided to stick with the program. He has said that the country's economy can't suffer a severe shock at this juncture. So, but on the other hand, he has also promised people various attempts to relax some of the severe austerity measures, which was part of the IMF agreement. For example, he has promised to reduce pay taxes by March 2025, as well as remove value-added tax from certain essential goods and services. But this will likely affect Sri Lanka's revenue goals set by the IMF. So Dissanayake recently revealed that they have already commenced discussions with IMF representatives in Washington to discuss these proposed reforms, and it will be further discussed when the IMF team is here. However, providing these relief measures to the people will depend on the success of these discussions.
Oh, thanks for that. Maneshka Borham, live there in Colombo, looking at the very difficult balance that Mr. Dissanayake will have to reach between meeting his own reform goals, as well as keeping to IMF targets to ensure continued bailout. Thanks for that.